opening. Victor Shadrach Kwacho here. On this episode of Entrepreneurship with Kwacho. I'm here today. But behind every venture is a story we are yet about to know. How Casa Tomato started. Let me just take in some chill juice before we start. This tastes good.
Yes.
Thank you for honoring my invite to have us have a chat.
Thank you.
First of all, we want to know your story. But before that, tell us about you. Who are you?
I'm a little village girl.
A little village girl?
Yeah. Who hails from the northern part of Ghana. My village is called Kumbungu. I don't know whether you...
Kumbungu.
Kumbungu.
Okay.
That's where Ras Mubarak's constituency.
Okay.
Yes. So that's where I hail from. But I never got to live in my village.
Yeah.
You know, because I was born up in the north.
Okay.
Family, and then brought in Accra.
Okay.
Brought to Accra, raised in Tema. You know, and in Accra, I've stayed in many places in Accra. Tema, Teshinungwa Estate, that's Greater Estate.
Yeah.
Dansuman, they call somewhere Matahiko, First Light.
Yeah.
Kan Audome Estate.
Yeah.
Ashalibuchi.
You roamed.
And now I find myself in Adringano.
Wow. You've really roamed.
Yes, I have. So, few.
Oh, can't worry about me along the way.
Yes.
Along the way. So that means that you came to Accra at early age.
Yes.
Are you able to tell us?
Before I was 1.
Wow.
Because yes, my mom and my dad they kind of divorced.
Okay.
And that was shortly after I was born.
Wow.
Yes. So my mom had to bring myself and my siblings, my older siblings, to Tema. You know, to her mom. That's my grandma.
Yeah.
So she started raising us here. So growing up, we never got the chance to even visit our hometown.
Wow.
You know, yes, I married before I got to know my hometown properly.
Okay. That was like way after.
Yes, after. This was like 14 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, 14 years ago.
Wow.
That I got to properly know my hometown.
Wow.
Otherwise, Accra is the only place I've known. Accra Tema.
Wow.
So that's somehow how come I don't have the accent.
Wow.
If you notice, most Northerners,
yes,
we have
yes.
an accent, but
Yeah.
because I've lived all my life here.
Okay, behind this great venture,
Yes.
we've heard quite some stories about it. Is your name Casa Tomato?
No, Casa Tomato is not.
What's your name? Tell us.
My name is Nazifa.
Nazifa.
Yes, Nazifa.
Okay. Now tell us your story.
My story?
How did Casa Tomato come about?
You want to know my story. you want to know of all the struggles.
We want to know. We actually want to know. We are interested.
Well, I'll cut it short, but I don't think it's necessary bringing a whole lot from the past.
Okay.
So we'll just take it up from somewhere.
Okay.
Growing up, I've always loved how to cook. I've loved to cook.
Yeah.
And I also had a passion for communications.
Okay.
You know, so since I was a kid, even in my family, some people used to call me a journalist. So I grew up developing the passion for journalism. So right from secondary school, which is Tema Secondary, I went to the Ghana Institute of Journalism. I did the diploma course, I graduated, you know, I did some few practices here and there, but then I got married and started raising a family, so I had to quit at a point, take care of the kids and all.
You mean you had to quit school?
No, quit work and all.
Okay.
You know, but I never quit school because I topped up.
Okay.
You know, I did a top
like the best. Okay. But were you like the best in your class?
Pardon?
Were you like the best in your class?
No, I wasn't. You know.
Because I learned that usually Northerners are quite smart people.
Yes, I was also good. Yes, we are smart. That is undoubted. we are very smart people, but in my class, I would say I was the smartest, but I was also one of the best.
Okay.
Yes, I was also one of the best. Although I didn't win the overall or become the valedictorian, but then I was also one of the good students in the class. So from there, I joined the Institute of Professional Studies for a top-up.
Okay. That's UPSC before?
Yes,
now,
yes.
Okay.
Now UPSC.
Yeah, now
then
UPSC.
it was IPS. So I did a top-up in marketing.
Okay.
That's BSc, Bachelor of Science in Marketing. I graduated in 2011. So yeah, now I'm doing an MBA course over there. Yeah. But then Casa Tomato, like I said, I've always loved how to cook, to cook.
Yeah.
And because I was raised by a single mother, most of the times, you find your mom go out to hustle, go and sell to take care of you. So most times you are left with your siblings, younger siblings. You need to fix something for them.
Yeah.
So it started off in my mom's kitchen. Every time you need to try a new dish, And then when I got married, and I started raising a family, I realized, okay, I'm a stay-at-home mom. I'm not doing anything.
Yeah.
Why don't I try my hands on some dishes? Most times you find stay-at-home moms, they stay home and say, oh, they are home, they are not doing anything.
Yeah.
For me, I think if you are staying at home, due to the fact that probably you are raising a family, you have kids, it doesn't mean you should just fold your arms.
Yeah.
Now, internet is all over the place.
Absolutely.
Information is all over.
Absolutely.
You can sit even in your washroom and have information on what is going on in America, in Germany.
Yeah.
So for me, if you have the chance to stay at home, it's a very great opportunity for you to explore so many areas.
Yeah.
So during my stay at home, as a mom, as a stay-at-home mom, I started trying so many things. I even tried sewing.
Solely?
Yes, I
What
went
is
to
that?
learn sewing.
Sewing, okay.
A fashion designer.
Okay.
At Joyce Ababio.
Oh, yeah.
I went to a bidding school. I did so many things.
So you were quite a proactive person, just wanted to get your hands on something.
Yes, I even learned how to do decor, sets up and all that. Yeah.
Wow.
But I realized there's something about food that comes easily with me. All these things, when I'm doing them, I stress. And when I tried all these things, they were never successful. But I realized that food is something, when I cook, and I give people, they come back and, Nazifa, I want what you did for me.
Yeah.
I want the same thing. Even if I dash them, they said, no, I want to pay for it because I want to come back for you to do more.
Yeah.
It hasn't happened once, it hasn't happened twice.
Yeah.
So I realized, why don't I focus on that area? Because I am a fast learner when it comes to food.
Yeah.
I sit down, create my own recipe, and it's a delicacy.
Yeah.
So I said, no, I have to start something with this food thing.
Yeah.
So I brushed up my culinary skills.
Yeah.
I learned a lot. And all the things I know, I learned them online.
Wow.
I never went to a catering school.
Wow.
It was rather the juices and the desserts that I went for a class on that. But with the food, the cooking, I never went to a catering school. Everything you see here on the menu was designed by myself. And I designed everything bearing in mind that I can do all. I usually don't want to do something now, like to start something that I don't know anything about. I want to be able to cook all my dishes.
Yeah.
So I designed my menu knowing that I'll be able to fix each and every
So do you cook
dish.
yourself?
Yes, I do. I'm the chief chef here.
Okay.
I'm the chief chef here.
I can imagine.
Let me tell you a story. When I started Casa Tomato, I think this was 1 month after I started. I sacked a chef.
Wow.
Can you imagine what it means?
Tell me.
When a new business, a new restaurant now blossoming in the capital city.
Yeah.
And usually restaurants rest on the shoulders of chefs.
Yeah. Because people may want to be afraid to lose their chef.
Yes, because I need the chef.
Yeah.
He's good.
Yeah.
And at the time I started with only one chef.
Wow.
I sacked him.
How did you handle that?
I handled the thing. You know, I sat in, went into the kitchen and I did the thing myself. It was even better because it so happened that, you know, he changed after, you know, we started operating and he realized there were people coming in. He opens the window, he sees people in the restaurant and he deliberately delays them.
What do you think is the problem with working with people as chefs like this story you're telling me?
Victor, it's not easy. It's not easy. You know, I always tell people, because I've tried other things, when you see a business starts and the business doesn't succeed, most of the time the problem is the human resource. Human resource is a very big challenge in this country. You know, the ordinary Ghanaian has a mindset.
The ordinary
Ghanaian has a certain mindset, especially if the person hasn't gone to school that far. Even sometimes those who have been to school.
But before they become a chef, they go to school for it, or they just become chef?
Yeah, they go to school.
Okay.
Yes,
then that should mean that you get
we have caterers and we have chefs.
Okay.
Chefs are special.
Yeah.
Chefs are able to do mostly the international dishes, desserts. You know, chefs are usually all-rounders.
Yeah.
You know, they are able to come up with these, and they learn from every country. You know, they learn dishes from most countries so chefs are different from caterers.
Yeah.
Caterers cook in bulk.
Okay.
And most caterers, they are local people who know how to do the local dishes.
Yeah.
And then some of them learn one or two pastries and all. But chefs, so that's why mostly the chefs take more pay than caterers.
Okay.
So the problem with this country is usually human resource, Victor. The person can go to school, can do all these courses, but honestly, they have a certain mindset. And I think as a country or as a continent, we need to try and then change. Yeah. Because we can't have our country and then have these foreigners coming, you know, to take over.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely. You know, anytime I drive on the Spintex Road, I feel like tearing up. Because you go there and most of the companies there, if it's not a Lebanese or
it's owned by a
Chinese or Indian,
just
you observe what I'm talking about. Most of the companies, I'm yet to see a Ghanaian owning a major company on the Spintex, not even Spintex, in Ghana.
Yeah, in Ghana.
It's because those people, when they start, because they know our people's mindsets, they bring their own people and they are able to manage it. So when they even employ a Ghanaian, the Ghanaians do the menial jobs there, like cleaning, sales attendants, whatever. But a Ghanaian will never be a manager to a company like Kapalis.
Absolutely.
A manager they will bring their people.
Absolutely.
What does that tell us? It tells us that the people are aware of our own lackadaisical attitude towards our own brands.
Absolutely.
So why don't we also change and build brands?
So what is just like you're saying, the average Ghanaian with their working character or ethics, what do you think they lack, and is there a way that can be improved?
I don't think they lack. I think it's a mindset.
Okay.
Because we have HR companies which are doing very well, training.
Yeah.
You can bring in an employee today and train him with all the rudiments you have. If the person doesn't want to change, he will never change. Sometimes you have them around, trust me, and even the ones who are in the company, those who are already working in the company, they come and meet them doing something, and then they copy and do it worse.
Yeah.
They overcopy. They copy blindly from these people.
That seems to be normal even in the
So at a point, you won't believe, at a point, even in this restaurant, I felt like getting everybody out and then bringing in a new couple of people. And somehow things work for me because, you know, when they come and they misbehave, at the end of it, when they don't get the chance, you know, to misbehave again, they say, I'm going. So you allow them to go. For me, I have a policy. If you are working for me and you leave, there's no way I'm going to have you back.
Yeah.
So they leave, and then they don't come back. Sometimes they leave and they call, madam, we want to come. I say, no, you've left.
Is it easy to trust the people you work with?
It's not easy to trust. It's
Why
not
is
easy
that?
to trust. That's why, let me even cite an example in Casa Tomato. I have key employees that, they have their flaws. They have their flaws. That's, I know. Everybody knows their flaws. And some employees, what I mean when I say key, these are all-round employees. An employee can be very lazy, extremely lazy, but protects your purse. You need such an employee.
Yeah.
An employee can also engage in small pilfering, small pilfering, but then that employee is a very good employee.
Yeah.
It's an all-rounder. Yeah. The employee's existence relaxes you, the CEO. It makes you stay at home knowing that this and this will be cooked for my customers.
Yeah.
How do you blend it? So you keep them. So these two employees, each one of them have their users.
Yeah.
So the one who will want the least chance will pick something, or will get, you send that employee will kind of make some small money out of what you sent her with. If you are able to minimize that, you keep such an employee and make sure that that employee doesn't come into contact with money.
Okay.
So that's how you try to balance it.
Okay.
And then that employee also guards your purse.
Yeah.
You also make sure that that employee also doesn't get involved in the cooking process.
Yeah.
You get it?
Yeah.
So you can never have an all-rounder.
Yeah.
But when you have an employee who lacks these two, don't hesitate to let that employee go.
Yeah.
Don't hesitate to let that employee go. That's how it is. You can never get an all-rounder. It happens everywhere.
You mentioned something about the average Ghanaian not wanting a job, but wanting money.
It's true.
Have you faced that?
Oh, of course. Most of them come around. Look, I can give you a database of CVs that I have here in this restaurant. Sometimes I pack all of them, send them to the back. I can't count. Each day, I don't know whether when you came here, each day we get CVs.
Wow.
Each day we get CVs. Chefs wanting a job, people wanting waiting work, how do you call it? They want kitchen assistants. They come with their CVs.
But you're unable to approve all of this because of the mindset.
No, it's not that you are unable to. Sometimes you have your numbers already.
Okay.
You've already employed people.
Okay.
So you can't employ everybody, Victor.
Yeah, that's
you
true.
have your numbers.
That's
so
true.
Unless an employee leaves, then you feel like replacing that employee.
That's true.
Then you have to go through your database and then call in one of those who have brought their CVs. They'll bring their CVs all right, but employ them and see.
Okay.
It won't even look like they are the ones who brought their CVs. They will come and mess you up because that's mindset. It's in them. That's all. Mamenko Pesca. Mamenko Pesca. So they are looking for money but not work. Yeah. So, and it, like I said, it isn't that HR wise we are not doing well as a country. There are lots of big HR companies in this country engaging in training people. People send their CVs. They go for training programs at Lene, Montran, and all.
Yeah.
You go and pick them, and it's no different from the ones who are roaming on the streets looking for jobs.
Yeah.
So for me, I think the problem is the mindset.
Wow.
If we are able to change our mindset as a country, we'll go forward. That's why you let people in office. And all they think about is to squander money.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's the same mindset.
Yes.
The politician has invested in money, and today they engage in something called vote buying.
That's true.
Of course, if I am standing for a post, I'm vying for a post and I have to spend a fortune to get that post.
Yeah, we want to recoup
Of course, once I win, I need to
get that back.
recoup my investment.
Yeah.
They call it ROI, return on investment. I need to get my ROI before, I think of developing. Yeah, some people even sell their family properties and all. So that's where we've gotten to as a country.
Yeah.
They think everything should be bought. It's these same employees, if God blesses them and they become politicians, it's the same mindset they take to public office.
Absolutely.
And then they steal from the country. They engage in all sorts of dubious deals, and that's why we are where we are as a country.
Okay, let me ask you, how did the name Casa Tomato come about? How did the name come about? Do people find it easy to pronounce the name?
Yeah.
And easy to relate with?
Some find it. It's not difficult to pronounce, but I don't know. For some people, I don't know whether it's deliberate or they just don't want to pay attention to spelling. Someone will call, is that Casa Tomatoes? Someone will call, is that whatever? Is that Tomatoes? Someone will, a whole lot of names.
Yeah.
Now we say, is that tomato casa? The spelling is there. Casa Tomato. It's just like pronouncing potato.
Yeah.
So tomato.
Yeah.
Casa Tomato.
Yeah.
But the name, how it came about. When I was starting, I registered a company with Registrar General, and I chose a name, and then asked them to check. They checked and told me the name was not registered. No, they told me it wasn't registered.
So it was available?
It was available. And then I told them to register that name for a restaurant for me, which they did. But when they finished the registration and it came out, I realized, at a point I went on Facebook and realized there was a company actually. With the same name. I called Registrar General. I even went there, I was like, you didn't tell me this, because I asked you and you told me the company wasn't the name hasn't been registered by any other person. I'm the only one. So how come these people are on Facebook with the same name? And they told me, they didn't come to register as a restaurant. Okay. They only do pastries.
Okay. And then they are in
Ghana, which is Oriental. Okay. Oriental pastries. Okay. I chose Oriental Cafe.
Okay.
But at a point I realized that no, once Oriental is doing pastries, in this country, people don't just strictly start pastries business like that. Yeah. They start with pastry business. Of course, if you go there, you'll be able to find jollof or something there. I realized that no, I can't use, even if they are doing pastries, I still cannot use, because once they are doing a pastry, it's still food line. Yeah. It's in a line of food business. They may also one day come out, because I am also doing restaurants, I'll do pastries. Yeah. So I don't want a situation where I open a page, I start posting, and then people, I try to grow my how do you call it, my followers organically, and then it will mix up with other people's following. So why don't I change the name completely? So I was just thinking. Now I'm on a thinking spree for a name. So I realized I can't also use a local name. I don't want that. I'm trying to,
because that many people might find difficult to recognize.
I need a name that will go international. That will resonate. When somebody mentions it, it can build a brand wherever. You go, you hear the name, you won't be able to tell which country
it's
that
name.
So I was like, okay, why don't I know Casa is home in Spanish or Italian. Okay. Why don't I just add something catchy to Casa? So I was like, okay. I came myself like Casa Pepe. Pepe will be celebrated.
Casa Onion might be
but I needed a name that that would be very catchy and heavy.
Yeah.
So Tomato came. I was like, Tomato is not bad.
Yeah.
Casa Tomato.
Yeah.
It's not bad a name. Even the sound of it alone,
It sounds like a success.
And such a name building a brand would be so nice. So I gave it to them. And look, change this Oriental to Casa Tomato. So if you check on our Registrar General, the business registration certificates, you realized, they changed the name from Oriental to Casa Tomato. So that's how come we got the name. And of course, tomato is found in every kitchen.
Yes.
So Casa Tomato.
Absolutely.
It became a very nice.
It's actually a very beautiful name.
Yes.
Seldom will you hear names like this.
So that was what I wanted. I needed a brand that would be very unique in the city, in the capital city, or wherever. You mention the name, they know it is this place.
It actually sounds like an international name.
Yeah. So you mention the name and it's all, it's just us.
Yeah.
I won't go and start Oriental and then there's another Oriental. There's no.
Do you have other branches or this?
No, this is the maiden branch, but we are hoping, we've only done a year.
Okay.
So we are hoping by the time we are about 4 years, we'll have other branches.
That'll be great.
Yes, because this is the first year and we are still learning. First year in business, you learn, you take feedbacks, you work on your feedbacks, correct your mistakes. We are still learning. People come and eat, we seek their views, we tell them to rate us, and we try to correct whatever. So we like it when they give us
feedback,
their own feedback, their own impression, even if it's negative. Especially the negative ones are the ones we look out for. Positive feedbacks anybody can give, especially if the person knows you. The person may not want you to know they are not happy. But the ones who genuinely tell you in the face that, look, this was wrong with your food, this was wrong with your service, they are the ones for me I like to keep, because they will be able to put you on your toes, and then you try to work on your mistakes.
Okay.
So we are still learning.
Now tell me, what makes Casa Tomato unique, and why should somebody choose to come and eat at Casa Tomato?
There
are a lot of people out there. They're looking for a place to eat food.
Yes.
And many of these girls come and take their selfies and all.
Casa Tomato, our dishes are not common. You can think they are common, but when you taste our dishes, we have our own secret ingredients.
Okay.
Yeah. We have our secret ingredients.
Maybe you should share some of the ingredients with me. I'll use it too.
I don't know. Maybe if you ask around, they'll tell you the best fried rice and jollof is found at Casa Tomato.
Really? I should have a bite.
Yes, they'll tell you. Because our fried rice is not like any ordinary fried rice. We take our time and we combine our secret ingredients into our fried rice. Yeah. Sometimes people cook fried rice and they add MSG and other things to it, monosodium glutamate. That's why that ingredient is never found in this house. We don't cook with that ingredient. It's not in our kitchen. People don't know. We don't have it at all here. But we cook and it tastes nice. Wow. Because we have our secret ingredients. Wow. That's what makes Casa Tomato unique. Apart from that, of course, we've also designed our place to be very to give our customers a very good ambience, neat ambience. You come here if you want to have your corporate meetings, you can sit here and do it. Have a good view, have a good sight, So those are our unique selling propositions.
You are a woman. You've been running this. The name alone, it sounds like a success. It sounds like an international name.
Which will happen.
Absolutely.
By God's grace.
Absolutely. How are you able to handle this and home? You have children?
Yes, I do.
How are you able to handle that with your children and with your husband? How are you able to work around that?
It's not easy. At the time I started this restaurant, my kids were quite grown. So
they were grown at the time?
Yes, to a point where the last ones, they were twins. They are twins.
Okay.
At the time.
Yeah.
They were twins. So I made sure they could do certain things on their own before, I started. Of course, I was taking care of them until I decided to open the restaurant. So I said, okay, now the first one was about 11 going on to 12.
Okay.
I said, okay, now the second was 10 and the twins were 7 at the time.
Okay.
So I said, okay, I can try. So when I started, I was managing it
All by
myself,
yourself?
Yes. But at a point, I fell pregnant. And I realized I wasn't able to do it on the line. I fell pregnant, and then I decided that, I realized I couldn't do it all by myself.
Yeah.
I needed time to myself and all. So I had to, for a brand like this, I needed a good manager.
Yeah.
Not just anybody. I needed somebody who pays attention to details, somebody who really can help build the brand name. So
Yeah.
I brought in.
Yeah, because for this kind of business, paying attention to detail is key.
Yes, so I brought in a manager, and trust me, it's been good. At least it's relieved some pressure off my head.
Okay. Can you tell us maybe 2 or 3 challenges since you've started?
Oh, the challenges. As for the challenges,
Yeah,
they are numerous. Yes, they are numerous. We are only managing because you are there. You have all these regulators you need to pay, and the restaurant business. For me, it's a very difficult one because it's the one that has a lot of taxes, the tax system and regulators. You need to pay VAT, employees pay.
Yeah.
You need PIT, personal income tax, and all those things. And you need to pay SNIT. You need to pay SNIT for employers. You need to pay tourism authority. Before you start, you also have to go for this EPA, environmental sustainability reports, police reports, fire reports, which are all renewable.
Wow.
Yearly. It's not easy, So you really need to brace yourself if you are going into a restaurant business, because all these people come periodically to check your books.
Wow.
And some of them also come in. They even come in unannounced.
Wow.
They walk straight to your kitchen. So you have to make sure that your kitchen, all the things you are using, you don't use expired products. You also have to make sure that the kitchen is neat, your environment is neat. They come, they check your kitchen, they check your washrooms. So these are the challenges we deal with, apart from the challenges of employees, which is a human resource problem. We also have challenges, with the regulators. And you need to pay whether you're making sales or not. You need to, even if you aren't making sales, especially GRA, for them, you have to write them a letter and explain why you won't be able to file a certain tax amount. But then, otherwise, whatever you sell, you need to pay.
What would you tell somebody out there who want to start like you, or a young lady who has been watching you start this business from the beginning? What would you tell that young lady?
Well, I'll let the person know. Once, make sure it's your passion. It's not an easy venture, but once something is your passion, you do it easily, and it comes easily with you without stress. But if it's not your passion, you'll stress out. Because if you are there and you are inundated with all these people, by all their taxes, this, that, you paying all these things, then at a point you feel like giving up. But if it's your passion, it's the passion that drives you. It drives you to strive harder and say, yes, I can do this, I can build this brand, I can do it like Malcolm is doing, I can do it like Mawako is doing, I can do it like Papaya is doing. So that's what drives you. So even if you come and the whole day you sold only one plate, there's hope.
Absolutely.
And don't worry when you start a business and nobody comes to buy. Once people come and pick your menu, they are able to go through your menu. The people who go through your menu, they are your potential customers. They'll go through the menu and they'll come tomorrow. So do your best to keep such people. So once you start, make sure everything you are selling on your menu, you yourself can cook it. So that in case any employee wants to mess you up, you can easily stand in and do something until you employ or you replace such an employee. It's always very important. Don't start something that you don't have a know-how. Always start something that you yourself have a technical know-how. about it.
Okay. Do you believe that entrepreneurship is the future?
Yes, I do. I do. In the past, we were going to school. They ask you, what do you want to do? I want to be a journalist. I want to be a lawyer.
Yeah.
I want to be a doctor. I want to be a pilot.
Yeah.
Me, as I sit here, if I knew cooking was what was going to, I wouldn't waste my time going to read lots of books in School of Journalism. You have to file news story, read a lot of stories, read a lot of newspapers, read this, do the English, but I can say, at the end of the day, I find myself in the kitchen.
Yeah.
But of course, it's also helped me because I'm educated, so I'm able to set myself apart from the ordinary food vendor on the road.
Yeah.
So for me, I think entrepreneurship is the future. So our universities should inculcate entrepreneurship in their programs, and train more students to come out and be on their own, rather than going around with their CVs and looking for jobs and even forming unemployed associations. For me, such associations really, it's an indictment on you as a graduate.